Matthew, my friend, we are live on the internets recording this podcast. So most of my podcasts are pre-recorded, but not this one. You said I want the
Let's
boss level.
absolutely. Well, and you can always just post it later, and that'll count as pre-recorded, right?
Yeah, yeah, it is kind of pre-recorded as well for
Okay.
sure. Um,
No, it's exciting, man.
so
I'm happy to chat with you.
it's great. Yeah, so um, I am joined here by Matthew Holman. Matthew is the founder of Commerce Catalyst and the um, director of partnerships. Did I write that down right? I can't even read my
Sure.
own handwriting.
Yep,
It's so bad.
absolutely.
It's a
Partnerships at
struggle.
Q Pilot.
So Q Pilot is what? Tell me. There's people milling
Okay,
around
Q
behind
Pilot.
you, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, I mean, I figured that would be kind of more fun because that way, if anybody wants to make faces, know that it's
I like
happening.
it.
I can always.
I just thought it was like a
Uh,
virtual background where you're like,
oh,
these are
no,
all
it's
fake
real.
people. It's all AI.
Yeah, so Qpilot is an e-commerce SaaS platform that enables repeat deliveries. You can think subscriptions, although we work with both B2B and B2C companies. Started out on WooCommerce, and now we're on Shopify. That's kind of where I actually started to cut my teeth in e-commerce. I mean, I dabbled like a lot of people, starting a store, doing this and that, and then got into the SaaS game and was running marketing at Qpilot for a long time.
Does the Q stand for Quatch? Because like it's a Sasquatch pilot. Is
No,
that?
it's more like queue. You can queue up your orders. So like the
Oh,
British
that makes
queue,
more sense.
QUEUE.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes more sense. Well, hey
yeah.
Matthew, we are here live on LinkedIn and on YouTube. Sometimes it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Tuesday,
Sure.
and sometimes people are watching, sometimes they're not. But if you're watching and you want to comment, you got questions as they come up, please drop them in here for us. We'd love to hear it. We're going to be talking about the Catalyst conference or the Commerce Catalyst
Hmm.
conference. That's going
Yeah.
to be
Catalyst 23.
Catalyst 23. There it is.
If
Catalyst
Catalyst
23.
isn't too many words.
What's that?
So if it's not too confusing, there's Catalyst 23. It's all similar names. Anyways.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
There's you've got a ton of great speakers lined up, and then there's me. I keep seeing you promote the people who are going to be talking at this event, and I'm just like, ah,
Yeah,
hey, I'm
but
the
I would I
packaging
would I
guy.
would wager money. I would wager money from a following standpoint and a podcast standpoint that there's only one or two people in that group that could go toe to toe with you.
Oh, that's it's one thing to I think that there's like the ability to communicate, which I really enjoy public speaking. I'm a pastor by trade. I've spoken in churches around the world. I tried stand-up comedy once and it was a train wreck. It's awful. It's the worst. It's so bad.
You and I are the same then. I tried doing improv when I was growing up and it was horrible because I would think it through too much. But public speaking and theater, that's my bag. So yeah, we're in the
Yep.
same boat there.
Okay, good. It was so bad. Um, so so let's talk about this conference we got. It's coming right here to Salt Lake City. I invited some folks from who are in the Salt Lake City area on my LinkedIn. It's not only for people here in Utah, right? But I'm sure it's going to be heavily
Sure. It's
populated with
definitely going
folks.
to be heavily Utah just because it's kind of our first year doing it this big. So I didn't want to put too much time into worrying about who was coming in from out of state. I think that there's an amazing e-commerce community here in Utah. I'm pretty confident about all the different entrepreneurs and startups, especially in e-commerce that we have here. Really, the whole spirit of Commerce Catalyst is I've always hated the way a lot of other conferences are run in the sense where I felt like sessions are often too high level. You're not necessarily learning something. You only really go to connect with people or to reconnect with people. And so Catalyst is kind of like my baby out of a group that I've been running for a couple of years that's trying to put just great content in the hands of everybody else that's in the space as well. So you're already going to get the great networking piece. We actually are partnering with Tacos Together to do kind of like a matching software the day of the event. So you can connect with other people there that are in your same space or same role, that type of thing that you want to meet. But as you mentioned, we have a ton of amazing panelists, and the idea is they're all going to be around 30 minutes. And the goal is out of every single session, you should be able to take away 1 to 2, maybe 3, like really important things that you could try implementing in your business to make things better. That's the whole goal, every session.
Yeah. I love it, and, good to know, since I'm doing one of the sessions, so I'm excited that we've connected
Well,
we've connected on that.
I've seen your content before, so it's good. I'm sure it'll be great.
It's gonna be so fun. Guaranteed there's gonna be 1990s rap references, so everyone buckle up. You're
Oh,
coming
look out for the packaging puns, everybody. Look
you're
out for
you're
the
coming
packaging.
along for a fantastic voyage. Yeah, and rapping is also, that's part of packaging, I guess.
Yes, it can
Well,
be.
so I know that I'm trying to remember who I've seen is gonna be there. The Kizik folks are gonna be there. I think, mutual connection of ours, London Laz, you guys made a great video
Absolutely.
together. He's gonna be there. Did you know that we played in a in an influencer basketball game against each other?
Just like last week, was that one
Yeah,
last week? I I heard that he was going to, but I didn't know you were playing it. How did that go?
it was great. He doesn't need to know this, but we won, and it was, not a big deal. Um, and I basically had to carry our team. I had 2 points, and he had 0.
Okay.
So, I mean, it was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I was the only LinkedIn influencer there. That primarily, I know
Okay.
London does a lot of work
Okay.
on LinkedIn. But it
Yeah, but
was,
he's phenomenal. I
he's
mean, he made
great.
that video. He made that video with me in under an hour. He had the idea. He shot it on his phone. Went in, shot some of his scenes, edited it, and was ready to go. So he's going to be talking about content creation and social media strategies. You're talking about packaging, sustainable packaging, which I think is something that everybody should be considering, right? And figuring out how to do well and all the considerations that go into that, right? Especially from a cost standpoint and a branding, unboxing. So here I am. I'm giving your whole session secrets
Oh, I love it.
away.
Keep going. It was great.
But,
I'm
then
taking notes.
there's a
What am I gonna
yeah.
talk about?
We have a few other panels that I'm really excited for. So Dr. Sunny Giles is going to be leading off in the morning with a keynote on disruption, basically, and how to create innovation within your company so that you can go out and disrupt your industry, which is going to be really exciting. And we're also going to have a mental health panel about leadership. I know for many people in e-commerce, you're running small teams, you're wearing multiple hats, you have all this stress, all this pressure, things move so fast. And so we want to have a panel talking about mental health and coping with that. And then we get all into all the nitty gritty and all the fun stuff, whether it's content creation and video for ads with Creatively and PillowCube. We're going to get into sourcing conversations with Klugonics, operations. I think one of the things too that e-commerce often like most marketing type stuff, the marketing ends up being the focus, right? Because that's what's sexy, the London Lazarsons of the world with their 9-10 million TikTok followers. That's a important part, but there's so many other pieces, right? Packaging, sourcing, operations. So we're going to actually have sessions about all that stuff. COOs from Gosney, Thread, Gather, you name it. So really just want to give everybody. I mean, the goal would be like you could send your whole company to this conference, and that they're all gonna. You can send your ops guy into a couple sessions, your marketing team into a couple different sessions, your social media people to connect. There's just really going to be a lot of opportunity there to learn. There's about 20 something panels with like 45 panelists, and speakers. So it's going to be pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, I know I'm certainly excited. I'm bringing a couple of folks from my network, including, Tim Drisdom, who works with me here at Myers, is gonna be coming, so, that's gonna be it's gonna be great. Um, I guess maybe pivot. Well, let's give some details here. So date and
Yeah,
time and place, and then I've got some questions for you, just as a
sure.
human. It's the people of
Yeah,
packaging, and normally we do people first, then packaging. We just jumped right into the
yeah. We
conference
just
and all that stuff.
Yeah, so the event is September 6th. It's going to be at the Mountain America Expo Center in Sandy. We're going to start at 8:30. The first keynote kicks off at 9, and the last keynote will be at 4 o'clock with the Kizik crew, talking about where they see the current state of e-commerce and where things are going from here. And everything will be wrapped up at 5. I know there's going to be at least 1 or 2 after parties, people hanging out, but would love to see people come in, connect, learn. That's really why I'm doing it. So
Sweet. Well, I mean, I live pretty close to Sandy, so don't tell my wife, but we'll just have an after party at my house. We'll
yeah,
just
okay.
our our 5 children will be
With
asleep,
some
and
'90s, with some '90s rap.
we'll very quietly we'll listen to some 90s, listen to some Snoop Dogg on the LP, and everyone can be out by 8:30 because I'll be in bed
Yeah.
by 9.
I guess I should be careful when I use the word after party. There's like there will be some dinners later. I'm
Yeah.
not sure anybody's going to be out past 9. I don't know. Maybe some of the younger crowd will be, but I'm sure I will be at home fast asleep by 9:30.
Jeez, I tell you, you talk about all these conferences, and certainly we've all been to our fair share of conferences, but boy, some of them, it's especially like the shows in Vegas. People look
Mhm.
at me like I'm crazy, but I mean, by about like when it's a Cosmoprof, and there's a lot of stuff happening at Cosmoprof for the cosmetics industry, and I'm like, I went to the Aquabats concert that I saw was there,
Nice.
which was gloriously wonderful, and they're very family friendly, and the show is done by like 9:30. People are like, "Are you gonna come out?" I'm like, "I will be in my bedroom. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
asleep by 9:45." Those days have surpassed me of
absolutely.
wanting to be out super late.
Absolutely.
Um, but I'd be down for a dinner. So if anyone wants to invite me, I'm here.
I'll let you know, buddy.
I'm
There's
ready. I'm ready
definitely going
for
to
the
be
dinner.
one.
Well, how did so let's I want to get into, first of all, everybody come out to the show. It's going to be amazing. Where can they register? That's the other question. Register. I got to drop some links.
Yeah. So the website is ccatalyst.co. We'll definitely drop a link. In fact, can I drop a link
Maybe.
in the
Yeah,
chat?
sure.
Or I
You
can
can
send it to you. I can send
you
it
can
to
do
you
it on
later.
LinkedIn, or we can just put it on I can put it in the show notes for the podcast. Put it on the LinkedIn post, cuz this thing, people could be watching this on repeat. By the way, if you're watching this in the future, I hope it's great there. Invest in Apple stocks. Bitcoin's a little suspect right now, but hello to the future watchers of this
Awesome.
show. Oh, look, you shared it. I was like, we
I
have a
shared it in
comment.
LinkedIn and then chat it to you, and then shouted it to you too.
Oh, look at that right
Yeah,
there.
that's kind of fun how it shows that.
I
That's
know.
pretty
How
cool.
neat is that? So ccatalyst.co/catalyst23 to register for the event. So we've got this event. We know you're at Q Pilot. How did you become so passionate about e-commerce? I mean, I know you said you dabbled in it. What did that mean? That you start like a Beanie Baby company, and
So,
we're
not,
like, what does that mean that you're dabbling?
well, well, e-commerce for me has always felt like this really cool. Like I've always thought it was really cool because it's like the intersection of technology and psychology, right? So like, and I think that in many ways it moves really, really fast because the last 20 years, especially, you can see so much technological innovation around how people buy. Like if you just think about the Amazon experience and how that's changed things, even just the last handful of years. So I think that how tech is constantly trying to innovate because dollars are following it so fast, so quickly, right? And then how people buy, the marketing, psychology element. So I've always been fascinated by it, and so yeah, I was um, started working a little at an agency a few years. This is like 4 or 5 years ago, doing we were working on multi-channel software stuff, and just I don't know, it's like very unsexy, but that's kind of how I started doing some of that, getting involved in some brands because of my experience with tech. Started doing a little bit of consulting, just a little bit of stuff on the side. And then honestly, it was about wanting to take the full entrepreneurship journey. So I was running marketing for an e-com SaaS company and decided that I wanted to kind of be my own boss, so to speak, and own my own destiny, right? As a lot of entrepreneurs want to, and joined Q Pilot as a co-founder to lead marketing. And so yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. One of the things that I've always loved the most, though, is working directly with the brands. Is helping people solve problems. That's just a part of my genetic makeup or whatever. Like I like figuring things out. I like helping people figure things out. So I was doing shipping and then subscriptions, so Qpilot subscriptions. So uncovering what data, what's working, what brands are doing, what people should be testing, trying. And our software bills on usage. So the more people would use it, the more money we would make. And so it was also like a financial incentive to want to help our brands do better at subscriptions because they would make more money, we would make more money, and that's also happens to be what I'm passionate about, is helping people. So
Sweet. I love it.
yeah.
And I'm sure that there's a treasure trove of info. Are you speaking at Commerce Catalyst?
I'm not. I mean, I'm leading a session, but I didn't want to
Okay.
necessarily do a subscription one just because I figure I've got enough going on. But I do a lot of work in the subscription space. I actually launched a podcast this morning called Subscription Prescription. Had a newsletter in there for a while. Yeah, yeah. So I do a
Wait,
lot of work
today?
on subscriptions. Yeah,
Breaking
just this
news.
morning.
Do, 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 do,
Yeah,
do,
yeah,
do, do.
yep.
Subscription, prescription.
Yeah, I finally have a podcast. Subscription Prescription. You can find it everywhere. Thankfully, if you search for that, nothing else will come up. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
I will find it and put a drop a drop a note. Were you on a podcast recently? Were you on Dave's podcast, Dave Oldham?
No, no, but
Okay.
I actually just saw Dave today too.
Oh, you
So
did?
yeah, no, Dave's got a great podcast. He had that recent episode with Zach France. But no, I've done. I mean, I've done quite a few podcasts, basically
Yeah,
because of subscriptions and stuff. So
that's cool. Well, Dave, if you're watching, why haven't you had Matthew on? I told Dave that because we work out at the same Orange Theory gym, and I
okay,
thought we should do a podcast while we're on the rower and breathing heavily, and we could just we could talk about like how hard, like the hard work of podcasting together, and it would be awkward breathing and just like the whole they get the whole experience, people yelling at us at Orange Theory. It's going to be awesome. But
well,
um
funny enough, David is leading our operations panel at Catalyst 23. So I'm a big fan.
perfect. He's a great
Yeah.
he's a great human being. I met him at 1 million cups is
Okay.
where I met him. He was presenting on his social media app. Awesome. And it was fun. So he's been a great connection of mine as well. I'm excited to see him. I didn't know I think I might have known he was speaking, but I'd forgotten until now. So
Mhm.
even better. Well, Matthew, this has been so fun. I'm gonna make sure that the event link is in the show notes, or if you get my newsletter on LinkedIn, or if you get my newsletter through Substack, you can click click on the links. You can listen to the Matthew Holman show. No, wait,
Subscription
prescription,
prescription.
prescription. I got it.
The
Subscription.
Matthew Holman Show is in still an ideation phase for that podcast.
Okay, all right. Well, you can also take that one. Um, thanks for coming on. Thanks for being on
Thanks,
here
buddy.
live. Thanks for being willing to do that. And everybody, we'll see you if you're in Salt Lake City, if you're around Salt Lake City, if you are near a Delta hub, you can be in Salt Lake City. If you need
Oh
a
yeah.
place to stay, I have a couch you can crash on, and I'm 10 minutes from the Mountain Expo, Mountain America Expo Center in Sandy. So just you can come crash on my couch and enjoy my five children serenading you with Moana songs. It'd be great.
That's fantastic.
And you'll leave with some Weena
Yeah,
Salute.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, you'll leave with that. I mean, how enticing is this, right?
it's it's
You
really
gotta
doesn't
come
get better than that.
You got to come get your elbows lubricated. That sounds awkward, and I will awkwardly end this. Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy. Thanks, Adam.
Yep.